Good morning. Let's start another restoration project this morning. Get the camera set here. I've got another one already started, but I'm waiting on some graphics to go back on it, and we'll see all that one later. This one's fairly simple. Let's do another inch. Let's see, let's back up a little bit. You see the whole thing. Now this is a Trimont Spud wrench. Now this is a very old Trimont Manufacturing Company, Roxbury, Massachusetts, USA. It just sounds like a cool place to me. Well, here, 12-inch capacity. I can't read all of those. Patent is December 1911. Now, I don't remember where this came from exactly. I think it was in a box of tools that was sent to me a couple years back. Disassemble. This is very basic here. Take our nut off. Now it's in good shape too. It's not beat up and banged up. Pull the jaw out, and we'll be able to read all that. Made in USA. You can see that much. And there, take our nut, goes there, and that's it. Nothing else in there. There's no jaws to come apart. It's a fixed jaw. Knock some of that big dust off of there. Now for the first few hours, I'm going to soak it in evaporust. Let me see, I'll see some more. That's right there. Let it sit for a few hours while I'll take care of some other business in the shop. I am really impressed with this evaporust. That is good stuff. I'm going to cover it good. It's very expensive, but it can be reused. And the main thing is it works. Okay, we'll put our little jug over here. Now we just let it sit for a few hours while I do some other things, and we'll be back shortly. Alright, 2 hours in the evaporust. Look much nicer. Now I'm going to take these parts out. Take them out to the sink and wash them with some dishwashing soap. Dry them off good, and then we will move on to the buffing and sanding and painting and all that neat stuff. I don't know what color this was originally. Before I paint it, I'm going to look it up again. Traditionally, any kind of pipe wrench or wrench like this is red. But I may do something different with this. I've got some unique paint. I'm going to let all the rust in here settle to the bottom, and then I'll drain it back off into the jug. Alright, not going to drag the camera out to the sink because it's rainy and messy out there, but be back with the next step. Alrighty, there we go. Wire brushed all clean. And I'll take it over to the bench, all the pieces, when I get done wire brushing. It's got a couple of sharp edges. We'll just knock those off with a file. And you can tell it's been hit on right there for some reason. And we'll clean up the casting marks. And then we'll get it prepped for paint. Now this one will take a little longer. There's a little bit more rust right here. Had I let it soak a little bit more, all that would be gone, but it's not pitted real bad, so it'll come right off. Alright, now we'll move over to the vise and the files and the Dremel, and just about ready for paint. Won't be long. Alright, clamped up in the vise over here. You can see right in here have some casting marks, which are perfectly acceptable, but let's go ahead and knock them down, make it look a little bit better. See, I've got a bunch of files here. We're going to take this round file, now this is cast iron, so it files pretty easy. Take a flat file. There comes the rain again. With the bigger flat file. Because this section here won't get paint, so get a black and gun blue. So we want it nice and smooth like that. Now this surface here I'll do over on the 4x36 grinder, because it's flat enough I can get it on there. Now inside these threads we're going to take the round needle file, each one, just clean those up. They're in really good shape. Any kind of little sharp burrs or anything on there, we'll get those off. Now we'll do the same thing on the other side. But before we go there, right here on the end, there's a little bit of a casting mark right there. Not much, just a little bit. We'll go ahead and knock that off of there. Alright, like that. This end, same thing. There we go, that's gone. And right up here, there's one. We'll do the same thing. There we go. Now this is ready to go to the belt sander. We'll clean this up. Make sure all our edges are smooth. We don't want any sharp edges. And I'll do the threads on this one just like I did the other side. Won't bore you with all that, but then we'll move on to the next piece. Now we're going to move over to the 1x30 and finish cleaning up in here. I'm going to leave this here because I'm going to paint this one little section here. I'm going to clean this up a little bit more. Nope, that's not gonna work. Whoops. We'll go back over and touch that back up. Alright, this piece is ready for bluing and paint, except for that little boo-boo right there, which I will fix right now. Alright, we're going to move to the Dremel with a little wire brush and get down in here on this piece. There's a little bit of a little tiny bit of rust still in there, so we're going to go ahead and clean that up. I've got this clean as I want it on the sander. Now do the same thing on the other side. Then I'll get a round brush and go down in here. Alrighty, that looks good. Now let's get the round brush and go through there, and we'll be ready for primer. Now ready for primer. I ran out of the other I had, so I got some good old classic red oxide. This is the Rust-Oleum brand. Now I have to do this inside because it's misty and rainy outside. I got the fan blowing out, but it's blowing back in. Let's turn it this way so we don't get it on the camera. Let's see, that's taped up there for the jaw. Alright, that'll do it. I'm going to hang it up over here, and it's going to take a little while longer to dry because of the damp weather. Then we'll be ready for the color coat. Y'all got to guess what it is. It's not going to be red. Definitely not going to be blue. I have something really pretty for it. Well, they're hanging out there drying. I don't know if that last clip got everything in there. I'm having trouble with my camera, and I've heard this is being a common problem with the Hero 8s. It comes on when it wants to and goes off when it wants to, and doesn't always record. So we'll see how it turns out. I can't re-record doing the primer. There, it's almost dry. I'm going to put the color coat on here in just a minute, and we'll just hope that it works. Might have to drag out my GoPro 3 till I can figure out what's wrong with this thing. Alright, the primer's dried for a couple of hours. Are you ready for the color? Who guessed it? Hammered copper. That's going to look cool. Now let's see, this one's only got a little bit of paint on it. Let's see if I can do this all. Now I read up on this company, and we'll talk about that a little later, but I didn't see anything about what color their tools were. Everyone I could find online, eBay and all that kind of stuff, they're all old and rusty like this one was. So that means we can make it any color we want it. Now we'll just leave this one hanging up here. Let's see, let me move you back up here. Get this camera to cooperate. I'd rather do this outside, but it is, like I said, it's damp and cold. Not really cold, but damp and rainy. This is the first of at least 2 coats. That's what it's going to look like. Now I'm going to turn the camera off and get it out of the way so I can get around to the other side. But we'll see it again here in just a little bit. Alrighty, paint is dry. Take our painter's tape off of here. A little bit more right there. If I can get it off. There we go. Very, very lightly sand it when we get all done. Now, next step, I want to gun blue this section and this section. We'll turn it all black, help keep it from rusting. Just regular gun blue. I pour it out of that little plastic jar into a little glass container. Oh, better clean it off first, because it's easier to work with out of that little container than it is that plastic bottle. Let me clean this up and we'll put some on there. All right, I wiped it down with some acetone. A good coat there. Let's see, let's use a Q-tip for this. I don't want to splatter it on that paint. Color this black, rust proof. So you're trying to keep it where you can see it. Okay, directions say 60 seconds. And then rinse it with water. section here, all we have is this top jaw and bottom jaw. Okay, we'll let that sit for a couple of seconds. Same thing with the nut. And this stuff won't hurt your skin. Well, it's never hurt me. You don't wash it off fairly quickly, but there's all different kinds of gun blues and darkening blues. This is regular birchwood Casey gun blue that's been around for what, 500 years. That's what I've always used. Alright, let that sit for just a second. Always put your lid back on, because if you're clumsy like somebody I know and knock it over. Alright, now I'm going to take it out to the sink. And it's dark outside, so we can't see out there real good. I'll rinse them and then we'll oil it and we'll be ready for reassemble. Alright, take some machine oil. Plain old 3-in-1 oil. Get us a light coat on here. And that will help that gun blue to cure. Make it look more pretty. We'll put a little bit more on these threads and make sure we get down in there real good. Like that. A little bit right there. Alright, what you say we put it together? Then we'll look at it a little bit more. Goes in here. There we go. Okay, so let that oil set a little bit and I'll wipe it off and we'll put it on the turntable and we'll talk about it just a little bit more. I almost forgot. Let's take our paint marker and litter. It happens. There we go. Now these small ones over here will take me just a little while, so we'll see them after they're done. We'll do them the same way. If I can't get them with this one, I'll get them with this fine liner. One side done. Let it dry for just a minute. We'll flip it, do the other side, and then we'll throw it on the table. And then we'll take a look at it. There we go, all finished up. Get a little bit closer in. Came out pretty good. I'm happy with it. Now I'm going to put some information down in the description of the company where this tool was originally manufactured. Now value wise, I looked up, I found they go from anywhere from $12 on an eBay type thing all the way up to $150. And I've yet to run across one restored. So not a real expensive tool, but a very, very handy tool. And no, this one is not for sale. It's going hang up on my wall with my rest of my pipe wrenches and type of wrenches, and that's where it'll stay until I need it. It will be a working tool. So hope y'all enjoyed this. I enjoyed doing it, and I've got more wrenches to come. We've got several other restoration projects on the way. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your support, and I'll see you next time, if I don't knock everything off in the floor.